In the heart of Ouagadougou, where red dust kisses the sun-scorched streets, stood a towering bronze statue. It depicted Captain Ibrahim Traoré, his eyes forever cast toward the horizon, one fist clenched, the other raised. Children danced at its feet. Vendors sold replica figurines. Pilgrims from neighboring nations took selfies before it. But behind that eternal gaze, beneath the chants and murals, something else stirred, a whisper in the shadows. They called it the Cult of Traoré. Aminata Sanu stepped off the Dakar-bound train, her eyes scanning the transformed capital. She hadn't been back in 5 years, not since her brother, Malik, a young activist, had vanished after criticizing the new regime online. In those days, Traoré was still hailed as the people's captain. He had overthrown a crumbling military government and vowed to end terrorism, corruption, and foreign interference. But something had shifted. Buildings bore murals of his face. Songs on the radio praised his vision. Every other shop had Traoré-approved branding. Aminata clutched her small camera. She wasn't just back to grieve, she had a purpose. To find out what happened to Malik. It started with a name. While meeting an old university friend, she heard whispers of a secret group, the Red Sons of Traoré. Not part of the official government. Not publicly acknowledged. But feared. They don't wear uniforms, her friend said, voice low. But they carry badges, red enamel with the captain's silhouette. If they come to your door at night, you don't come back. Aminata's blood chilled. A week later, she followed a lead to a burned-down bookshop once owned by her brother. Beneath the ashes, she discovered Malik's journal wrapped in a plastic sheet. It contained pages of coded entries, but one phrase stood out, circled over and over. The cult is not him. The cult is behind him. In the presidential villa, Captain Ibrahim Traoré sat alone in his war room. He had just returned from the Northern Front, still in uniform, boots muddy. Reports were troubling, unknown militias attacking dissenters, rogue intelligence branches operating without his signature, rumors of a loyalty order beyond his command. He summoned his chief of internal security, Colonel Ousmane Kouyaté. "Are there factions acting in my name?" Traoré asked. Kouyaté smiled. "The people love you, Captain. Some take that love too far." I asked a question. Not for a compliment. Silence. Then a slow nod. "Yes. They call themselves Red Sons. Most are idealists. Some are not. But they act out of loyalty. You gave them hope. I gave them truth. Not fanaticism." But Traoré knew. Power, once unleashed, doesn't always obey its master. Aminata found an old contact within the Interior Ministry. A programmer. Nervous. Always checking the door. He slipped her a flash drive with encrypted files titled Dossiers Phantoms, Ghost Files. They documented over 300 disappearances in the past 2 years. Most victims were journalists, whistleblowers, or local leaders who questioned policies. The pattern was chilling. She decrypted one case, name, Malik Sanu status, re-education, level 3, facility, Site Delta, Koudougou sector. She whispered his name and wept. He was alive. Or had been. Armed with a false government pass, Aminata journeyed to Koudougou, deep in the bush. Site Delta was no ordinary prison. It was a repurposed military research facility hidden beneath a cocoa farm. There, she witnessed the unthinkable. Detainees marched in silence, eyes hollow, wearing red scarves with Traoré's insignia stitched in gold. Re-education. Indoctrination. They were being turned into loyal mouthpieces, stripped of dissent, memory, and voice. Then she saw him. Malik. Alive, but empty-eyed, repeating patriotic slogans in a monotone whisper. "Captain Traoré is the sun. I was blind, but now I see." Her camera trembled in her hand. Aminata was caught. A guard recognized her and raised the alarm. She ran through the forested compound but was finally surrounded by Red Sons. Blindfolded. Beaten. Dragged to the capital. She was brought before Traoré himself. Not in the palace, but at a military clinic. She was shocked. He looked tired. Not triumphant. He didn't shout. He just asked, "Why did you go there?" She stared at him. "Because your name is being used to erase lives." He didn't flinch. I never authorized re-education centers. The cult of Traoré was born without my blessing. Then stop them. He stood. I intend to. He let her go. What followed in the coming weeks was swift and ruthless. Traoré issued a live address condemning the Red Suns. He ordered the shutdown of Site Delta and had Colonel Kouyaté arrested on live television for treason and conspiracy. Shockwaves rippled through the nation. For the first time, people questioned, had the revolution been hijacked from within? Statues weren't taken down, but a new narrative emerged, one that distinguished the man from the myth, the ideals from the fanatics. Aminata reunited with Malik, who was sent to a trauma clinic in Bobo Dioulasso. Slowly, the fog in his eyes began to clear. Months later, the bronze statue in Ouagadougou had a crack across its chest. No one fixed it. Children still danced around it. But adults glanced at it with more nuance, less awe, more reflection. Traoré, still in power, had become a quieter figure. He no longer gave fiery speeches. He visited markets in plain clothes. His red beret appeared less often. And Aminata. She released a documentary titled The Cult of Traoré, telling the story of how truth can be twisted, even when born from justice. But her closing words were careful. He did not start the cult. But he ended it. And that, too, is part of the story.